Welcome into the Cowboys Report, presented today by Roan. I'm wearing their commuter dress shirt because I want to be comfortable whether I'm in the office, out in the town, driving home, whatever. The dress shirt was due for a radical reinvention, and Roan has stepped up to the challenge. Get 20% off at roan.com/chatsports. You can use promo code ChatSports as well. Tell you more about them and put that link in the comment section and the description on today's video as well. But we're going to begin with the injury report, the final one before the Cowboys take on the Philadelphia Eagles tomorrow, Christmas Eve. Shorter turnaround for almost every NFL team because, well, they don't want to have a bunch of games on Christmas if they can avoid it. Jake Ferguson, listed as questionable with a concussion. I feel pretty decent about him being able to go. Made better progress than what he did last week, of course. Dorance Armstrong in the battling that ankle, foot, knee type of deal. He should be fine. He was limited throughout the week. Trevon Diggs popped up late in the week with the illness, so hopefully he should be good to go. I'd be worried if he wasn't, but I think that's a bit more of a truer questionable than I would like it to be. Micah Parsons should be good to go with his illness, and Leighton Vander, Esch, no surprise, has been ruled out with a neck injury. I will make note, the Cowboys tried to say it was a shoulder. They put him on the injury report as a neck. I think that's at least worth monitoring there with that nerve issue he's apparently battling with the pinched nerve, whatever. Now, we will have a Cowboys-Eagles watch, but we're losing already this week in the sub-battle against Eagles Now. Now, look, I get it. Eagles has far fewer subscribers because they're not America's team, but I want to catch up and beat them from now until kickoff. We're over 100 behind the Eagles with the subs gained since Monday only. Let's get that changed. Hit that red button right now and get free Cowboys videos every single day. And for today, for example, 2 videos. Mailbag went out this morning. Now some more news for you. The big injury news is that of Sam Williams. He has been ruled out of this game against Philadelphia following his car crash. Now, he's fine in terms of he didn't get really injured in the car crash, which is very good news there. He is dealing with a concussion and a neck strain. Again, I don't know who's at fault in that concussion or in that car crash, but both the other driver and Williams were out of the hospital yesterday, so everyone's fine. Relatively speaking, he's still not going to be able to play against it, which is a big loss. Sam Williams has been one of your better pass rushers of late. You know, Dante Fowler's kind of been missing in action as of late. Dorance Armstrong and Tank Lawrence are both going to play probably, but they're not 100% with various bumps and bruises. Chauncey Golston is probably going to have to play a big role. I will say the Cowboys, and we'll get into more in depth, did not bring up Tack McKinley from the practice squad. So even though Sam Williams is out, that's a pretty good sign to me that they think Micah and Dorance Armstrong are going to play this week against Philadelphia. Now, the defense has struggled as of late. It has not been that top 3 unit that we saw at the beginning of the year, and injuries are a big part of that. So overall, from the injuries to the defensive play in general, what is your panic level right now? Scale it for me from 1 to 10. 1 on the low end, 10 on the high end. Head down there at the pinned comment. So if the ad break comes on YouTube, head down there and get your votes in. Some practice squad call-ups. The team's limited to 2 each week, and it's once again Brock Hoffman who has been called up for the game day active roster. You actually get 2 extra game day spots if you have an extra offensive lineman included in that grouping. So Dallas has been doing this for well over 2 months now. Every player gets 3 game day call-ups. This is going to be Brock Hoffman's second, and they're just working down their practice squad offensive line as they deal with only having 7 people up and active on the full 53-man roster. This will be your offensive line: Tyler Smith, Connor McGovern, Tyler Biotish, Zach Martin, Tyron Smith. Maybe there's still some Jason Peters rotation. I'd say I kind of doubt that will end up being the case, and hopefully, you never have to have Josh Ball playing games that really end up mattering for you. I'm a big believer in the look good, feel good, play good mantra, and that's why I like Roan and their commuter dress shirt, what I'm wearing right now. I feel more comfortable on air, at the office, out of the town, at a wedding, wherever I go. I can wear my Roan shirt and feel good in the process. I've worn it to multiple weddings this year with several compliments, and not just from my wife, by the way, which always makes me feel good. Mobility is everything. They have 4-way stretch fabric that helps you feel comfortable, whether in the office, at the desk job, whatever, or out and about in the town getting drinks, you name it. Odor-free technology, Gold Fusion anti-odor technology, so you'll smell fresh wrinkle-free. It actually, with their wrinkle Reese technology, actually helps disappear and fade away as you wear it and move around and do everything else you're doing there. Roan is the best dress shirt I've ever had. Their commuter shirt is perfect for pretty much any job out there. The commuter shirt can get you through any workday and straight into whatever ends up coming next. Head to roan.com/chatsports and use promo code chatsports to save 20% off your entire order. That's 20% off your entire order when you head to RHONE.com/chatsports and use code chatsports. That's RHONE.com/chatsports. Find your corner office comfort with Roan. We'll put that link, by the way, in both the comments section and the description of today's video. Trust me, I look good wearing it, and that means you'll probably look even better. Roan.com/chatsports. You get 20% off. Links in the comments and the description of today's show. The promo code is as well. Let's move now to the other practice squad call, and this is the big one. We'll spend a lot of time on this because it's the cornerback spot, right? Mackensie Alexander, the former Viking nickel corner, has been called up for the first time from the practice squad. Now, he is a veteran player who's been around the NFL for a long time. Most recently was, at least in games that matter, last year, was with the Minnesota Vikings as the team's nickel corner. And he wasn't great in general. Nickel corners tend to allow a higher completion percentage because a lot more shorter area stuff. This is significant for a couple of reasons. A, makes me a little bit worried about Trevon Diggs' status with his illness. I think that's worth monitoring. If Diggs can't go, I'm going to be pretty damn concerned about that one because I'm already worried enough about this cornerback room and about this situation from just everything going on beyond Diggs. Now, Daron Bland in reality is your cornerback number 2. But the question is when you go to your nickel packages and somebody else comes out, who is playing with Daron Bland, and where are they playing? You could play Bland at the outside. We'll get to that here in a little bit. I think there are 4 viable options right now. The other 4 active roster corners, not including C.J. Goodwin, who could be the number 3 corner with Anthony Brown, Jordan Lewis, of course, out. Who are you playing at cornerback 3 right now? KJ for Kelvin Joseph, NW for Nahshon Wright, MA for Mackensie Alexander, or TM for Trayvon Mullen. More discussion on those guys coming up here beyond Alexander. If it is Alexander, though, it means somebody else is moving into the outside. Probably end up being Daron Bland. Now, Bland right now has done a very good job as the nickel. High completion percentage, but 4 interceptions, 6 pass breakups, and the yards are low despite a decent amount of targets because there's a lot of short area stuff that he's allowed. I'm not too worried about Daron Bland. They also dinged in Pro Football Reference did for 1 TD that I'm pretty sure was on Nahshon Wright. Wright acts like it's zone and passes it off, and Bland acts like it's man. I'm betting in the red zone. I'm betting it's man. But that happens when you're shuffling corners. Miscommunications end up happening. Nahshon Wright subbed in for Kelvin Joseph last week. And Wright in the preseason wasn't very good. He didn't get beat outside of the one play that badly. Small sample size. Wasn't out there a lot either. I haven't seen much to trust Nahshon Wright. I also haven't seen anything to trust Kelvin Joseph right now. He's been targeted 18 times, and he's allowed 219 yards. That's not very good, and he's also got some penalties. He's lacking confidence right now. I put Joseph as the quote-unquote starter at the number 2 cornerback spot because that's what he was last week, but the Cowboys, I think there's some frustration with Joseph right now. I think there's a lack of trust in Wright, who was inactive for most of the games this year because he just wasn't as good as Kelvin Joseph was, so do you give it to Wright? Do you give it to Joseph? You could maybe put Alexander in the nickel, but do you want to put Bland on the outside because it's working at nickel, and do you want to change things up? I'm not so sure. Is Trayvon Mullen even ready to play right now? Like, he's been in the building for like a week, guys. It's a week and some change. Like, he hasn't been a part of this team right now very much. So he doesn't – there's a lot to learn, to learn and adjust to. So I would like to see Mullen get a chance, but – he might be a healthy scratch because he's just not up to speed yet. So cornerback 2 is very much, at least outside cornerback 2, is very much a spot that I am concerned about. And we'll know more come Saturday when kickoff happens. So make sure you guys are subscribed for free Cowboys videos, sometimes multiple times per day, every single day, right here on the Cowboys Report. Now, one more note here on this game itself is that Gardner Minshew officially will be starting for the Philadelphia Eagles against the Dallas Cowboys. That has been confirmed by head coach Nick Sirianni. As expected, I know there were some who was like, Hurts is going to play. Yeah, when he didn't participate in the walkthrough really, or was a non-participant on the walkthrough day on the official injury report, it means you're not going to go. He didn't practice at all this week. No surprise there. It is much easier to beat Gardner Minshew than it is Jalen Hurts. I think that just makes sense, right? I will say this, though. You cannot assume this is suddenly an easy game because it's not an easy game. The Eagles are a great football team. And Gardner Minshew, for whatever reason, the numbers bear it out, is an elite quarterback in the first start of a year. Now, he didn't start a game last year, but in the 3 starts he's had to, whether it's week 1 or to get his first start of the year, 7 touchdowns, 1 INT, 9.86 yards per attempt, 87.1 completion percentage. You got a good coaching staff, a great offensive line, playmakers. If Minshew can drive the bus, Philadelphia can still win this game unless the Cowboys actually show up and play well, which, especially on defense, you haven't done consistently in the past couple of weeks. So predict the score for me of the Cowboys against the Eagles now that we know for a fact Minshew is the starter. Head down there and get those votes in. Score prediction of Cowboys versus Eagles.